Right, hello. So yeah, I thought I would give Classic a go. I'm going to go in quickly to turn that bloody sound off. Sound, music, new. Now I've gone for a mage because, well, it's a lot quicker. When in original World of Warcraft, when I was getting rid of that. Originally in World of Warcraft, and I played several characters, and I used. Oh dear, this is going to have to be sorted out. Oh crap! Yes, after invert mouse job 1. Where was it? Yeah, after, like, I'd level up. The Paladin was fine. The Paladin went up, and it took ages, but it went up because that's what I want to play. But with other classes, I would level them for a bit, and then I would not like them and delete them. I got a warrior to like level 50 and then delete it just because I didn't like his face. I didn't like any of the faces, actually. But the mage, I leveled up so quickly. I leveled it up before I got bored of it. So it ended up as level 60, and then, you know, I did some other stuff. And it kept it. Although I left it behind in Warlords of Draenor. I haven't really levelled it up since. Right. Gordon Bennett, what are we doing here? Get the strafe button sorted out immediately. Will that do for now? I can always mess about with things as and when. But this is... I'll give it the same name for you as I gave my mage as well. I have no idea what realm I'm on either. It had better be a normal realm.
See you later.
Right. Fine tune things. Master volume. Down. Instant quest text. Rotate minimap. I can't remember whether I want that or not. Again, every time I notice something that I don't like, I'll just change it then, I think. That'll be the easiest thing to do. Kobolds. What did he wanted me to kill kobolds, didn't he? Where's my quest tracker? Seriously. You can open your quest log. Was the quest tracker not in? It may not have been in it. Alright then, fine. And of course there's nothing on the map either. Was there a quest tracker? I can't remember whether there was or there wasn't. Automatic quest tracking. Where the bloody hell is it then? Right, anyway.
Need help?
Shift left click to quest, do I? Oh, you mean on the thing? Okay. But it's got ticked as automatic quest tracking. Automatic usually means I don't have to do anything, doesn't it? Anyway, let's have a look. Kobold, right, fine. Go on then, let's have a look. Yeah, but it said automatic. That's outrageous. Making me do things. Right, hold on. Let's get rid of that. What the hell is this? Oh. Right, stick that over there for now. I guess I'll keep that on 2 for now, because I'm going to go Frost. Hey, Kieran. Do you miss me? That's nice. I just about remember who you are, so I must miss you too. I forget most people quite quickly. Where is... Oh, this may... Don't resist, for goodness sake. Oh, auto loot tends to bug out. Right, I don't remember auto loot being it. Is auto loot actually in? Oh, right, it is. Okay, well, that's fine. Although, actually, after a while, I'm going to want to take that off, aren't I? Because I'm not going to have room for everything.
Not enough mana.
Not enough? Right. Alright. Beat him to death with your stick, then. I shall make him a tailor enchanter, which is actually what I made my paladin. At least that way I'll have a wand at some point. Oh, good ear bag. And also I'll be able to make some bags. Actually, don't display tips. No. Human racial for stealth detection on the bar. Yeah, it's good. It's not going to be at all important at this stage of the game. What I could do with is someone turning in Nixie's head roundabout now, because then you get the... I did, when I was playing vanilla and I actually had my original mage, I got the Dragon Slayer buff. It made you... I would just go around bonking things on the head with my stick, right up to like level 10, it just one-shot them. Right. Oh, hold on. I'm killing the wrong kobold. That's kobold workers. I want kobold vermin. Where are kobold vermin? Am I... What? Confusing me.
I need more mana.
I think to begin with it will be much slower as mage, but once I start to get further into levels it'll be easier. Oh, bloody mana, I forgot about that. Yes, I'm taking all the candles. I have 3. They all seem to be worthless candles, these ones though. I'll have to go to the mines to get the good ones. Hey! But no automatic abilities. I'm not going to the class trainer to turn this quest in, of course. Is there anything I can actually wear out of this crap? Oh, leather. Oh, cloth boots, they'll do. Again, you can't be too precious, can you, at this stage? It's grey. Grey gear is an upgrade. Is there any major theme or character from vanilla that's not been used to make an expansion? No, I mean, obviously they didn't term it that. They didn't know, or they say anyway, that there was going to be an expansion even. They were just, although I thought it was an awful lot of work to put in if there was not going to be an expansion. But what was really good about it is it gave you an overall flavour of the, you know, a lot of Azeroth. So you had your first tier, which was Ragnaros, so Elemental Lords, you know, the actual primordial powers on Azeroth. Then you had Nefarian, so you had Dragonflight. Then you had Cthulhu, so you had Old Gods in there. And then you had Naxxramas for Legion. So it was actually, you know, whereas the expansions themselves tended to have a central theme, didn't they? Which sometimes went off kilter for the final raid if that was going to lead into the next expansion. Speaking of which, there's an awful lot of fuss. I was thinking I might even do a video on this. There's a lot of fuss, isn't there, about the ending of BFA, isn't there? A bit of a damp squib. Because there was no shiny, like, scene at the end. Nothing. It's like, oh, you've killed N'Zoth. Well done. You've done now. Bye-bye. Seems like Elune had many quests and hints in vanilla, but it's never really shown up. Well, not as yet. I mean, Elune is probably the main mystery left in WoW. In terms of what she is exactly. Very done. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of a lot of the quests were very, very good at introducing you to the lore that had come before. And not just in the previous games, but in the novels that had fleshed it all out as well. In a way that was lost. This is my main gripe with the Cataclysm
Need something?
changes.
See you around.
Is they
Good day to
removed
you.
them all.
Have a good one.
You know, you can't learn about the game anymore, the game's lore, or not as easily. Certainly not from the game itself. It's outrageous.
For the Alliance. King's honor, friend. Go with honor, friend.
Alright. Are you sure this just isn't... Is this a feature just not working? Because... You know, there's... It does say automatic quest tracking, and it's not automatically tracking my quests. Am I even supposed to go up here? Can't remember. And a reason why most people start to leave was that after the first expansion it was just repeating the same cycle and only theme changes. I don't know, I mean No, I wasn't supposed to be up here. I mean, TBC and Wrath of the Lich King, I mean, you can argue all sorts of things in terms of why they were why the popularity kept on increasing throughout those. You know, part of it could be they were continuing storylines that are very popular storylines from Warcraft 3, which was, and still is, I suppose, stunningly popular. But part of it could just be it was still all very new and fresh and all the rest of it. That's a priest trainer.
Safe travels.
Didn't make it easy to find your way around, did it, in these days? There we go.
Well met. What can I do for you?
Right. Arcane intellect. That's better than nothing, I suppose. When do I get that? 4, 4. Not bothered about that. That's what I want. Level 4.
Light bless you.
Anyway, regarding the end of BFA, many people are thinking Azoth saved himself by putting his soul inside the dagger. What Rathian's dagger is that? Which is conveniently now missing. The thing is, though, I mean, yeah, you know, there can be any amount of speculation about what's going on. The issue is that there was no shiny set piece, which there has been at the end of literally every expansion. You could argue Warlords of Draenor 1 wasn't great, and before BFA would have been...
Hey there. Safe travels.
You know, would have been considered the dud, not just the expansion, but the end scene itself. Rathian used elephant. Yes, I saw that cinematic. As he stabbed it with sparkle and chugging away as if battery being charged, yeah. Most did stick to Wrath because they're blah blah blah. When Teenage came, Kata came, no longer interest. Oh, this is where I actually have to look at one. Right, Kobold Works. I know where they are because I was killing them by accident before, wasn't I? There's all sorts of. I think there's all sorts of reasons why it may have peaked in Wrath. I mean, I think recently the developers have been very bad at really isolating what it is that people like about the game and going with it. But, you know, I think to begin with, I wasn't playing Cataclysm right at the start of it because I'd sort of quit the game at that point for a bit anyway before I came crawling back. And... But from what I gather and from what people have told me, it was pretty good. They did get into a lot of trouble though. I suppose it depends on what people want from the game. They got into a lot of trouble over the difficulty of the dungeons,
My mana.
which it could be argued then resulted in, because one thing I definitely noticed after Kata is dungeons. Okay, you had the mythic system eventually, but like Missa Pandaria was absolutely embarrassing with dungeons because there was no level of challenge in them at all. And then you had you know, when you got to level cap, then you did the heroic dungeons. Now, you know, when you're someone who remembers what heroic dungeons were in TBC, where they would test, to begin with anyway, raiders, like proper raiders. Because there was no like heroic and normal raiders, and it was just you were a raider or you were a raider, or you just didn't kill raid bosses. And you know, I could remember trying to get groups together for heroic Shadowlands or something, and you know, you had to actually poke people in guild. These are bloody raiders. People who were doing Serpent Shrine Cavern, for goodness sake. Oh, I should have sold all that crap off. Never mind, I've got more bags. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Pandaria, you know, heroics were just something you did at level cap, but they were no more difficult than the ones you were doing as you leveled up. For you, Wrath and Kata were equal. I mean, I could understand why they would be. I can appreciate why they would be. So I just think that's what I mean. There is an element, of course, in a game when it declines of the developers either not keeping up with what people are wanting or expecting, or just not innovating enough, and other games come out and you know they have shinier things and it takes some of your players away. But there will be an inevitable aspect of you know, the game was the new kid on the block and the best new thing, and all of a sudden it wasn't. So there are just people who get bored with things really easily and they want a new game. I mean, the sort of thing that this channel was never going to be, although, you know, it could have been like a channel that did several games. It was never going to be one where, like you do on some channels, where you're playing it, a game comes out and you play it a load, you do a review on it, and then you play it for a month, do a load of videos on it, and then you move on to the next game that comes out, and so on. So I was never going to do that because that's not what I like doing. You know, I like to get into a small number of games and play those. At the moment it's quite annoying. I haven't got time to play all the games that I would like to. Although I have a bit more time to play some now.
I need more mana.
Find it weird they went through an entire expansion and Sargeras Story is still stuck in Silithus. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not completely up to date with everything that's happening here because I'm not playing it enough. I'm keeping an eye on cinematics and stuff like that. I'm basically learning from cinematics. Anything that's not explained in the cinematic is not being explained to me. Is there anything being done about Silithus at all with the sword? Or is it just going to stay? It's just going to stay there, isn't it? I don't know why I'm asking the question. I know it's just going to end up staying there. They'll have fixed the wound, but the sword is just going to stay there, isn't it? It's not even Sargeras' sword. It was. But yeah, I mean, when you look at, for example, you know, you look at comparing cinematics, and the cinematic at the end of Legion was particularly good, but you know, you had that cinematic at the end of Legion, which not only finished off the last Legion raid, but led into the next expansion. It was quite a spectacular cinematic, you know, a real event. And then all of a sudden, you have, you know, BFA, N'Zoth goes, and the building falls down, and that's it. Oh yeah, they don't have different symbols, do they?
You need
Right,
something.
armour merchants have repairs though. Not having food. I might keep the water. Keep that. Can't remember if I... Right, just keep those for now.
Have a good one.
5 armour. Alright. I haven't got a belt. Right. I'm guessing those robes are better. Yes, they are.
Hey there.
Oh, no sleeves showing
For
up
the
in muscles.
Alliance.
Okay. You quit BFA after Uldir and stick to Classic. Oh.
Light be with you.
Anyway, it's about Blizzard messed up with mop dungeons because they spent too much time working with scenarios. Is it? I don't know. It could be. I mean, that's, you know, a problem is always going to be in any project, isn't it? Taking resources from one area to put them into another. That's been a big problem with BFA. Huge problem with BFA. And it's going to be a problem with Shadowlands as well, I reckon. But I'll wait and see. But... Right, I'm going to do the kobolds. I don't know, because I just got the impression with the mop dungeons, it was the fact that they got so bitten by people complaining about the difficulties. Oh, yep, some boxes there. They were complaining so much about the difficulties that that the dungeons gave them at Starter Kata that they just went too far the other way and just made them too easy. Because I think that has been something, isn't it? You know, if you look at MMOs, whenever you get people talking about MMOs that were before, like WoW, which I didn't play, you know. WoW was the first one. What's she doing? Why would you do that when you can see me firing up my fireball? Right, you get that one then, and I'll get this one. You know, it's become increasingly casual. I remember, you know, when TBC was coming out, I was moaning about all the features that were coming in TBC that I was that's just for casuals. I have since changed my mind. I'm quite happy to admit on some of the things I was moaning about I was wrong. But, you know, nowadays those elements would be considered even by someone who would stick to the opinion I originally had. They consider those, you know, fairly hardcore elements. You say Mop was the last expansion you really enjoyed. I would say Mop was my favourite expansion. It's been my favourite expansion out of all the ones that have been Mop onwards. I actually don't know between Mop and TBC, because both of them, I liked aspects of each of them that were different. So I don't really know that I could choose between them. I enjoyed both Mop and TBC. Legion, I had a big gripe with Legion. I mean, on an objective level, it was clearly much better than... should I actually drink some of this bloody water? I'm going to be able to conjure my own water soon, I might as well. On one level, it was objectively better. There was more stuff to do than there was in WoD, clearly. But I preferred WoD because all I got into a cycle of doing in WoW that I really enjoyed, and I did love it, was levelling. I enjoyed levelling and learning the story and going on with the story of the game. And I also enjoyed raiding. And there wasn't really anything else in the game I enjoyed. So... Oh no, labour. So from my point of view, Warlords of Draenor was brilliant because the raiding was good. That's not to say I didn't have criticisms of it, but the raiding was good. And the levelling was good. I enjoyed the levelling. I could do the levelling on different characters and I could do it in different ways as well. You know, I like that. I even, God bless it, loved the garrison system. Well, not all aspects of it, but I was nowhere near as critical as many others. Whereas Legion, which, you know, for most people was objectively better, had much more stuff, more engaging, all the rest of it, and had more to get people out in the world, which you'd expect from an MMO. But the levelling, I didn't enjoy. And the raiding, you know, all this peripheral stuff you had to spend all that time on that wasn't raiding. So the raiding was not... And ultimately that's what... I think... I don't know actually what would have happened, but ultimately that's what had to get me to stop raiding, because I made the decision to stop raiding because I knew... This was going back in a year and a half or so. in fact, nearly 2 years now, but a year and a half, let's say. And I knew I was going to be unable to keep up with raiding because work was going to get busier the following year, which was last year now. But in a way that wouldn't have been a problem had raiding just been raiding and doing what you used to in previous expansions. You know, which wasn't, I never used to raid log. But having to do all these mythic plus dungeons and all this artifact power grinding and all the rest of it, I didn't have time for all. I wasn't going to have time for all that, I should say. So that's what ultimately did it. So I would have carried on raiding into this expansion were it not for that. Now, whether I still would have been, I don't know, and how my life would have gone, I don't know. Because various other things have changed, which makes coming back to doing raiding impossible in a way that might have been possible when I first made the decision to do full-time YouTube. Now isn't. But even then I still probably wasn't going to because, you know, once I've stopped I realised, I sort of thought to myself, oh, I had fun on that ride, but I don't need to keep doing it. Because after a while it is the same ride. Right, done all them. I thought that in Classic these were hostile. Am I wrong about that? I thought that the other two types of kobold were neutral, but I thought they were hostile. Or did that change? I don't know. I don't know. Memories. Mop and TBC were both exploring paced expansions. I mean, in terms of exploration, of course, you know, Classic was brilliant in a way that no expansion ever could be, just because of the sheer number of zones. I mean, one thing I keep talking about, and I'll keep banging on about it because it's brilliant, and when I get to this quest, I'm doing it on this character. You know, you have a quest in Stormwind. When I go to Stormwind, I'll come across it. Although not today, but I will at some point. That's going to send me to the other end of the world for one thing. For one thing. It's not a quest near the place where I need to complete that quest. I loved that. But you can't, to be fair, have that in an expansion because you don't have the sheer number of zones. They weren't, okay, they weren't hostile. I thought, I could have sworn they were. First hostile mobs you encounter the Defias people over the... Oh, really? Right. You thought the workers were non-hostile, the labels were hostile. I mean, I can't, it was a long time ago. And I don't just mean back in Wrath, because in Wrath itself, I didn't level up any Alliance characters from scratch. I leveled up some Horde characters from scratch in Wrath. So the last time I would have leveled up an Alliance character from scratch before Cataclysm ruined everything would have been... oh, bugger. I need that wand. Does he just stop to scratch himself before clouting me? Would have been TBC, and that's just too long ago. But I did have an inkling. But if they've made mistakes in this, I'll assume that's not one of them. No water. I am level 4 though. Have I got any? Yeah, I'm going to have to keep an eye on the old coffers. 2 silver and 10 copper to my name. I mean, it's years and years since there was any point in silver and copper at all. Pointless currency now. Have I started the new DK since the patch? Not to keep, but just to see the new starting stuff with Bolvar. Oh, no, I haven't. That's a good call. I should do that, shouldn't I? I'll do that next week. Better. Right, done. Done.
Well met.
Gloves.
For the Alliance.
Right, where's that bloody major trainer then? Forgotten already. Oh, he was upstairs, wasn't he? Need help? Right, want frostbolt. I suppose I might as well
Light
get
bless
conjure
you.
water as well. Right, okay. So, frosty bolt. Conjure water. Is that all I'm making 2 at a time now? Gets higher as you level up, doesn't it? Yes, I will have to do that. I will do that next week before I pop back on this.
What are you looking for?
In fact, technically, this fella isn't just here to get rid of my crap. I could actually buy something that's an upgrade, but I'm not going to.
See you around.
Right. This guy give me a cape.
How are you?
Oh no. Boots. That'll do.
See you around.
I supply only the finest goods. Be careful.
Right. What's a good classic realm to be on? Yes, I'm hoping you're asking someone else that. I don't even know what realm I'm on right now. Whichever one it suggested I'd be on. Which it didn't bother to tell me now that I think about it. Aha, cloak. Oh, was that actually better? It was the same. Do you notice how many of the expansions are trying to turn what used to be a villain, not a hero, evil, health scream into mob? I mean, the only one they've really tried to do that is they've turned... I mean, Illidan was already a misunderstood character in many ways, but they completely changed his motivation for doing what he did. Which I thought was a little strange, because his motivation originally was perfectly understandable. He just exercised poor judgment. But they are, of course, going to be constantly redefining roles, because they've got... somehow World of Warcraft, and I don't know how this happened, turned into something that was there just to continue storylines from Warcraft series. Like, you had Warcraft 1, which had the barest semblance of a story in there. You know, when we talk about the story that Warcraft 1 was actually based on, it's really novels. It was not the book, it's the actual game itself. But, oh, this is going to take forever, isn't it? Jesus, hold on. You have to drink after every bloody one. The, what is this? I got people on BattleNet. Oh. Anyway, you know, Warcraft 1, but it had its storyline. Warcraft 2 expanded on it. It actually got quite serious about the storyline. I didn't like the game Warcraft 2, but I did like the story. Warcraft 3 obviously stepped it up a notch again. And then World of Warcraft, it was just like continuing the same stories. It didn't really do anything new until MOP. Mists of Pandaria was the first time when it went, we're going to do something new here. And then people didn't like it. And then the next expansion we got was the ultimate in retro. It was, we're not going to do anything new. We're not even going to do anything new with the old stuff. We're just going to do the old stuff. So World of Warcraft, which has been out now, I think, for longer than all the Warcraft series had before World of Warcraft came out. I think that's right. And yet it hasn't really added much to the story at all. It's just extended storylines that were created in the Warcraft series. Oh, yes, of course, right. Oh, bollocks. No, it shouldn't actually kill me, these two, should it? I am going to have to be more careful, though. Yes, I will have to definitely be more careful. And not get mugged. Don't want to get mugged on any character, but especially not a mage. Now it looks like they're changing Lich King villain to Wrath to Lich King hero in Shadowlands. Ah, well, to be fair, Bolvar was supposed to be a hero anyway, so he wasn't supposed to be an evil Lich King. I mean, granted, in Legion, you might not have been sure because, you know, Bolvar Lich King had you doing all sorts of things in terms of raising people. He even had you assault Lights Hope Chapel. So there was a bit of, that was a bit weird. And now he's lost his hat, so there is no Lich King anymore in Shadowlands, is there? Which then brings into question, what about this statement of there must always be a Lich King? Because the answer now is, there's not going to be. Have I played ESO recently? No, not at all. Again, it's like, oh, there's a bloody patrol there. Oh, it's not a patrol, he was just running away from something. At the moment, it's just, I've got myself very recently a bit of extra time. But it's still, and I'm hoping it will grow as time goes on, but it's still not a fearsome amount of time. Because I'm still very busy, I'm just busy doing different things. So what I have been doing is, I've only been doing this for the 2 hours that we've been on here. I've been playing Star Wars The Old Republic a bit, but I keep switching between different characters. Because the problem is I've only been through the main class story for two classes. And I want to do it for all of them. Actually, truth be told, I'm not that bothered about one of the Jedi ones. But I will anyway. But I want to do all the others. So at the moment, I'm spending quite a lot of time on that. And what will happen with that, I know it does, because it happens all the time. There'll come a point... Oh my god. People are whispering me. No, thank you. So I think what probably is going to happen at some point is I'll probably potter around in World of Warcraft for preference in a particular session, and then with other sessions focus on one other game, have like one side game, but then alternate what that side game is accordingly. So obviously ESO is getting a new expansion soonish. So I'll get that, and that's when I'll go into major playing of that. Not that I'm ruling out playing it before then, because again, I would like to get, you know, some characters leveled there as well. Supposedly, there must always be a Lich King rule. Being violated would be the pre-expansion event where there are more Scourge invasions around the world. Oh yeah, the old favourites. Roll out the Scourge invasions again. Always works well. They might as well just do a Scourge invasion at the start of every expansion. People like them. Or some sort of invasion anyway. I mean, obviously it was a demon invasion last time for Legion. Have I seen the new raid? Not much, no. The first I will see of it properly will, of course, be... I thought that rabbit was going to attack me then. Will be LFR, I suppose, when LFR, I suppose, will start to come out next week, I guess. Then I will get a little glimpse of it. In which case, if it is out next week, I'm pretty sure it would be, wouldn't it? Would it? I'm pretty sure that's right. I think. But if it is, then possibly what we're looking at is, yeah, next week. So, oh God, what have I done with myself here? Oh no. Oh. I heard another sound. I thought it was me being mugged from behind. It is not. I don't know why I came this way. I'm just going to leg it across the stream. So yeah, what I'll probably do then is start off with that DK starter thing. Or I might just do that in the week sometime. And then we'll do some LFR next week. On my Paladin. Well, you're doing heroic right now. Yes, I will not be going anywhere near even normal. That is certain. Am I planning any updates on my weight loss channel? No, I don't know why I'd started that in the end, because it was always going to be
Hello.
regular updates and then no updates at all. I really don't know what I was thinking there.
Have a good one. What can I do for you?
I mean, the update is, it's, you know, over time I've lost a load.
Can I help you?
But it's now, it's not done, but in terms of like regular weight loss, it's now sort of on a very, very slow, like it sometimes goes up, sometimes goes down. It's sort of really incrementally slow now. John probably had planned obsolescence, yes. I don't know. It's just basically I was in the habit of like getting the YouTube bug. What am I doing? Level 5 is nothing new at level 5. And you know, and effectively vlogging about everything I was doing. Oh, losing weight, I'll do a channel about it. I don't have to do, I just need to come to the realisation I don't have to do a channel on everything I do in my life. Right, where is this? Millie. Where is Millie? So yeah, I don't know what that was about. What were you mentioning Tauren for? Tauren Heritage Armor Questline now makes more sense since it hinted at and involved Shadowlands. Nothing about making a Tauren makes sense. Why would you? The only Tauren that I would ever have, and I do technically have, I hadn't leveled it up from scratch, is a Druid one. Because I do actually have to decide. So for Shadowlands, I'm bringing my Paladin back to Alliance. I don't know where yet, but I'm bringing it back. Which means... that I'll, as the Horde and Alliance do now get very different experiences, I'll probably have a Horde character. And I was trying to think of what class it should be. Now, if I'm going to make a Horde character, just as a Horde character, just to experience the quests, there are certain classes that would appeal, like an Orc Warrior appeals, But I really like my Pandaren warrior, and I'd like them to stay Alliance. So probably won't be doing that. Oh, frostbolt. Stop resisting my frostbolts, it's rude. So it's points like this where I regret doing a mage, but then later on it'll be fine. Have my eating habits changed over the months? Not really, no. Well, I mean, they have in terms of I can't physically eat very much. But in terms of, like, my taste and everything, no. But I never used to stuff myself with chocolate and shit anyway in the first place. It was just my meals were always just too big. Because I cook and I cook my meals, and it's very difficult to cook some things just for one person. In fact, it's impossible for some things. Oh, for God's, that's just, will you stop? I'm just picking grapes. Which is why at the moment it is quite dodgy now with the weight loss, because, you know, like 10 stone ago, having a small amount of the things I was eating anyway means you lose loads and loads of weight. Whereas now that it doesn't feel like I've lost most of it, but when you look on the scales, it sort of looks like I have. You saw me a long bloody way back. But it means obviously a small amount of crap food can knacker you, so you have to just limit it to one day. So I tend to have Sundays as my cheat day. So I come back from my girlfriend's on a Sunday, go to Tesco or whichever supermarket, get some junk and have that. And there's only so much I can have anyway. Have I played the GTA games? No, they don't interest me, those sort of games. Like, there are some games that people have sort of suggested that I possibly could be interested in. Like, people keep saying about Total War Warhammer. Which actually I could now, because I've got loads of game codes for it. Games Workshop have just done a promotion where when you order some physical models from them online, they give you one. And because I ordered something after Christmas where I ended up with one, and because there's been a few pre-ordered things recently that I've got about 3 or 4 of the bloody cards. But I'm here thinking to myself, right, I'd quite like to play more World of Warcraft now. I'd quite like to play more Star Wars The Old Republic. I'd quite like to play more Elder Scrolls Online, and I haven't been able to play any of that. And I'd quite like to play more Lord of the Rings Online, and I haven't been able to play any of that. So it's the same old story. You know, when there's already 4 games I would like to play more of and can't, do I really want to risk picking up another game? Because another thing I want to do is, like, assemble more of my bloody Warhammer. I've got a ridiculous number of Warhammer models. And I was just working out this weekend about more that I wanted, and I've not ordered them. Because I'm thinking to myself, I've got already too many bloody models. Oh shit, I didn't get Garrick's head. So, yeah, I haven't... That's what I mean. I'm not the sort of person that likes to just flit around and play a few games every now and then. I like to get into them in a bit more detail. Even though that's now just purely casually, but still. And something like GTA, even if I was the sort of person that liked to play lots of different games, that would not be one of the ones I would want to play. What server am I on? I have no idea. No clue. When I get to Goldshire, I'll log out and have a little look. I have no... Basically, it got me to create a character. Didn't even tell me what realm it was on. Do I think I'll come back to Mythic raiding in Shadowlands? No, I won't even come back to normal raiding in Shadowlands. I don't have the time, and if I did, I would only want to do normal raiding with people I knew, and that, you know, that limits you to basically join in. What am I doing here? I want to be up the other stairs. Limits you to joining a guild I used to be part of and basically being a casual and seeing if they do outruns, which, given that they'll burn through normal much quicker than I will, is probably... Because, you know, raiders are going to put more time and effort into their alts than I will my main as a casual. So it's not realistic. It'll be LFR, that'll be it. That'll be the height of my ambition. Because I hate pugging. Absolutely loathe it.
See you later.
And even pugging takes a lot of time. So I mean, you know, if I'll keep going through the schedule that I have in life now, which is very full. So technically, I mean, I always start my week off on Sundays because that's when I come home from my girlfriend, so I'm away for the weekend. So I come back, do shopping, do videos for the other channel, and then usually do 2 live streams. I haven't done a live stream for the other channel today because I had too much on. And then, and that's what I'll be doing after this stream as well. I've still got another video to do. Then on Mondays, get up, I do a couple of videos in the morning. Then I do a little bit of part-time teaching. So I'll go off and do that. Come back, get something to eat, go off to Warhammer Club. Come back, do another video. Tuesday, videos. And then a little bit of other stuff as well, which needs to really seriously at the moment needs to include building and painting Warhammer models. I have been slacking on that grievously. Uh-oh. Am I in the right place? Why are there 3 of them? I thought one of them was the bad guy. Am I in the wrong place? Shit. This is not good. Glad I didn't pick Paladin for Classic. Well, I mean, you know, I've done vanilla.
I need more mana.
And also, I'm not going to have... If I was going to be playing Classic like properly, I would absolutely have done the Paladin. I would, honestly. But I can't actually remember where this guy is. I thought he was there. He's not, is he? Oh. A shack. Okay, that's not a shack. Is the shack this way or back the other way? Right, I'm going to go close to the fields. Yeah, I would have done, but you know, with not having very much time, being honest, a Paladin, it's a strong solo character, but it chews through things really, really very slowly. Oh, there's a shack over there. I'll be there. Oops. The keybind's right. Some people think that some roll PvE realms just because of cows, when in truth it's just saving your time. Well, like, it's not fun. You know, the game is PvE and PvP, and I want them separate. Where's the fun in having some level 60 come around at the level I am now, just ganking me all the time? I don't see how that is enjoyable in any way, shape or form. So the best MMOs I've ever played from a PvP point of view have had completely separate PvP zones. Not pissy little battlegrounds, they might have those as well, but dedicated zones huge zones with sieges, you know, forts to besiege and all the rest of it. And that's not what this is. So yeah, there's nothing remotely fun about a PvP realm in this game. So I loved it when war mode came in. Thought it was brilliant. Meant I could turn it off and ignore it completely. But it came too late, ironically, because now that I'm casual, I can play on whatever realm I like. Because, you know, people used to sort of say, oh, you know, why are you on a PvP realm if you don't like it then? Because I had to go there. That's where the raiding guilds were. And literally, the second I stopped raiding, they introduced war mode. It's like they're trying to piss me off. It really is. But anyway. Going the wrong way around here, aren't I? RVR in Warhammer Online. Yeah. Warhammer Online was a very, very fun system. To the point. See, before I played that, I just came to the conclusion that I don't like PvP in MMOs. Because I'd played games where you did PvP before, like Doom and, you know, and Star Wars games and stuff like that. Then I played World of Warcraft. I thought, this isn't even remotely fun. And then Lord of the Rings Online was a different system. And that was just, I mean, that was just not, people weren't interested. So I couldn't even judge that. But then I played Warhammer Online. That was a fantastic system.
You need something?
So then I just thought to myself, oh, I do enjoy PvP
Safe travels.
if it's done in a particular way. And the way it did it in Warhammer Online I thought was excellent. To the point where, because I'd quit World of Warcraft at the time, I actually, and about, you know, I was at the time splitting my time. This is how mad it was.
See you around.
I was splitting my time between Lord of the Rings Online and Warhammer Online. And I stopped playing Lord of the Rings Online to join a guild on Warhammer Online to PvP. I went from being someone who thought that PvP was utterly crap in MMOs to someone who gave up playing an MMO that I was enjoying specifically to dedicate more time to playing just PvP, because the PvE in Warhammer Online was shocking. It was buggy and ill thought out. It was absolutely appalling. You know, you felt the same way, yeah. I mean, it was, but the PvP was so much fun.
How are you? Have a good one.
And you wanted to be in an organised thing, but if you weren't, it was still fine as well, because you would just join up with marauding groups in the RVR zones anyway. There was stuff you could do as an individual, as a someone in a small friendship group, and as someone in a larger thing as well. My main ended up, it started off as a warrior priest, and then I switched to destruction, ended up being a disciple of Cain. I did have a few others as well, but the disciple of Cain was my main. They were awesome. They were truly awesome in lots of different ways. In fact, because they were a healer really, and they were very good at healing. In terms of large-scale PvP, they were ideal for it with their AoE healing. In fact, one of my guilty pleasures used to be in, I can't remember what they were called, but their version of Battlegrounds. And one thing, there was a particular one where there was this fairly high bridge. And one of my guilds, because healers used to have, I think all of the different roles had a common ability, and healers had a knockback ability. And it was an AoE knockback. And one of my guilty pleasures used to be running straight at the enemy and using this ability and knocking them all off the bridge. A bit like shamans used to do with some, was it shamans or druids used to have a similar thing for the bridge in Alternate Valley. So this was much funnier.
Greetings. Go with honor, friend.
Right, tell you what, let's just log out and see which realm I'm in. So we've got that for academic purposes. Netherguard Keep. I'm certainly not at Netherguard Keep, so I'm guessing that's the realm. Yes, it is. That is the realm that is suggested for me, and I didn't argue. Oh, what? Oh, I don't want either of them.
See you around.
Now then.
What can I do for you? Be careful.
How much? I can't be too lavish. But
Safe travels.
Right, hold on. Right, we need to do something here. Action bars. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Put that there, that there, that there, that there. Cooking. Right, so we have campfire there, cooking there. I could put perception there just for a laugh, couldn't I? Put it there. Did I do his thing? Oh, that's Mal, so I'm not doing that yet.
Hey there. See you later.
Right, this is... okay. Gold dust, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure... there are quests for candles as well. Why is nobody giving me a quest for oh, there he is.
Hello. See you around.
Okie dokie then. I take candle. Oh, you don't have time for Mythic Raiding. Just joined a 2-day heroic guild. Find a guild who can clear heroic and it's good. Well, that is the thing. The problem is, even... why is she just buffing with arcane intellect? Oh no, she hasn't. Oh no. Oh no, crap, it's a priest. Come back. Oh shit. I forgot about that aspect of it, people just randomly giving you buffs and you reciprocate. She ran away, to be fair, too quickly.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Oh, there she is. Alright, there you go. Yeah, she wants a buff after all. Right. I actually don't know where I'm going. It's not that way. Where the hell? Oh, it is this way. I've forgotten what I was jabbering on about now. Oh yeah, so I wouldn't like, even if it was a 2-day raiding guild, there's a couple of things wrong. And I said this before, oh for God's sake. The first is that I would, you know, in a heroic guild you are going to get muppets who do stupid shit. And that will annoy me. The second thing is, you will still want to put enough effort into your character to be worthy of that. It doesn't have to be as much effort as for Mythic, of course, but it's more effort than nothing. And the other thing is, I don't even have 2 days when I can definitely always make it. I don't have 2 set days. So I actually can't do any form of organised raiding. Now, I mean, that is largely because, as I say, ordinarily I would. But I've got a girlfriend now, so... and sometimes we have to organise different days and things like that. But even at a time when I may have been able to do that, it was finding it. I did put in a little bit of a search to try and find somewhere suitable and didn't really find anywhere. And I think part of the problem is that heroic guilds don't really advertise in quite the same way as, say, mythic guilds do. But yeah, I gave up any hope that there would be a good fit. Because in theory I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind just doing heroic. But can't commit to it, even that. I want a wand. Smack him. Oh dear. Which one gives you the most bang for your buck? If you're alright for mana and fireball, both got the same cast time. Maybe a frostbolt followed by fireballs. Loads of guilds advertise on WoW Progress or forums for her. Yeah, at the time I was looking, I mean, as I say, I haven't got time now. But when I did, or when I thought I would, I didn't, I never found one that would be a sensible fit for me. I mean, there must be one out there, but... Most heroic guilds and WoW Progress are open to recruit and delight to take raiders. Yeah, but I'm not necessarily delighted to take them, do you know what I mean?
My mana is low.
And this was at a time when I would have had time to spend 2 days on it. You know, it was just the mythic raid I didn't have time to do. Right, eat a pumpkin. Can I eat food and water at the same time? I can. Is that right? Right, let's try and make some headway because I have to explore this mine as well as just get the stuff. Oh. Where's he going? Oh, for goodness sake. I'm actually going to die at some point, aren't I? Because they'll be respawning behind me soon as well. It was here. I distinctly remember it as well when I was...
Not enough mana.
Oh crap. This is going to be trouble. I will not be killed by a kobold. Oh, do you know what I keep forgetting as well? I keep just looting one body, forgetting there's no auto loot, no AoE loot rather. Oh yeah, Hunter, that's what I would have done if I wanted an easy ride through this game. But my thinking with the mage was that I'll also get portals at some point, which will make things much easier. I did actually think, because of course I've got 2 accounts, so I could have 2 characters, one latching on behind the other. I did actually think of having a hunter and then just having someone else tag along behind them. Right, so I can go around the periphery again after this. Heroic raiding involves grinding outside a raid unless you don't care about DPS. Well, yeah, exactly. There will be a little bit of time. Now, I mean, literally, you know, a year ago... Well, no, it wasn't. Don't worry about it. But when I... Oh, crap. When... why am I in combat? Oh, bollocks. Right, I'm not in combat. When I made the decision to go full-time, at that time I wasn't... I was still single, so I was imagining... I'd already worked out, you know, my schedule. And it would have had time to have, if I could have at that point found a suitable guild, to have done that, to have done some heroic raiding. But yeah, it's not doable. And like I say, I'm not desperate because I've done it. If I'm the main interest in World of Warcraft is going to largely be, in terms of retail World of Warcraft, is largely be the continuing story, even though it doesn't always make sense anymore. I'm not going to say it always did, actually, if I'm honest. And you can get the story from LFR. Yeah, if they do anything now, I think some people were saying last week it's a little bit different. Obviously, the big turn off, even though you don't have to do. Or you didn't in Legion. Like in Legion, if you were just going to be a heroic raider, you wouldn't have had to do like artifact power to the same extent you would for Mythic, of course, but you would still have had to have done some. Which means doing content that's if you can't get everything you need from just doing the raids, you're obviously going to have to do a little bit of farming as well. I get that, or buy a WoW token and just purchase what you need. But yeah, if you can't just do it from raiding, then it's not feasible at all. Ooh, chest. Treasure. Forgot about these. Mythic Plus is fully viable way of gearing out. Yeah, but I would not want to pug that. I'd only want to do that with people I knew. Now, Mythic Plus dungeons, if there was just going to be a set time of week, like, you know, when a group of people did 2 or 3 hours of it, and that would just be it, which is what I used to have at the beginning of BFA before various people that were doing it stopped playing the game, which was inevitable for casual players. Now, that sort of thing, yes, I would do that. Do I have any interest in Shadowlands? Shadowlands looks interesting from a story point of view, yes. Also, some of the features of it sound interesting. My worry with it is, obviously at the moment, all we're getting, like you do for every expansion at this point, is aspirational. You know, it's all, oh, you know, this, you know, it's going to be like this and it's going to be all amazing, it's going to be brilliant. And then, can they deliver on what they're saying it's going to be? I have my doubts because BFA, for those who were there at the start, you will recall, they bit off more than they can chew. It was not remotely ready. The level squish is going to be very interesting, is much appreciated. And if it breaks the game when they implement it, which won't be at the start of the expansion, of course, it'll be the end of this one, then, you know, that's not going to bother me. It may bother Mythic Raiders. It bothered me a little bit when we got the item level squish at the end of Legion, but then I also understood the reasons for it, so it was bothersome but understandable. But yeah, the worry for me is ultimately they bit off more than they could chew with BFA. And it wasn't ready at launch. And I don't just mean there were a few things needed tidying up. It wasn't ready. What happens at the point at which BFA is launched, there's a small part of the development team stay on BFA What's that gnome doing there? Why is there a gnome there? Who? What the hell? Outrageous. Anyway, normally, yeah, so you get a small part of the development team that stays in BFA because they still have work to do. The rest of them go on to the new expansion, which we now know is Shadowlands. But there was so much broken in BFA, they couldn't afford to do what they did in WoD and just abandon large sections of the expansion because they've done that once before. They're not going to get away with it again. They lost a shitload of subscribers a bit over a year ago. So I can't believe that they didn't pull a load of developers from... Why am I not getting anything? From Shadowlands for BFA. What that means now is... What that means is that Shadowlands will not have had as much development as they'd originally planned. Now, the question is going to be, are they going to adjust their plans and learn from their failures in BFA, or are they not? Because the pressure is on for them to develop. They can't just make sure they deliver a smaller expansion. You know, they need the expansion to be good and have a lot of features in it. So they're going to face a bit of a tricky situation. Have too many systems of BFA, essences, Azerite gear, corrupted gear. Oh, well, yeah, in terms of gearing. I mean, that's been the other problem with WoW, in my view, anyway. It's the developers make it too gear focus. You know, for most players, for casual players, like, power gear doesn't interest me. I mean, I could be doing LFR every week on my Paladin and would be getting upgrades. And you know, arguably, I should be doing that in order to get into the next LFR anyway. But... boring. You know, it bores me as a casual player because it's no use to me. If I like the look of it for transmog, okay, then there's a use, but I don't. So they should focus more on the sort of rewards that appeal to casual players. Power gear should be for the people who want to play and need that gear. You know, Mythic Raiders, PvP players, Mythic Plus Dungeoneers, that sort of thing. You've seen a track record with WoW After Wrath. Every other expansion has been garbage. Kata was bad. Well, I mean, to an extent there'll be opinion. I mean, I liked Mop, for example. I thought Mop was better than Wrath. I quit Wrath. I liked Mop. But it depends what you want out of the game. Because different expansions will have different things that they're good or bad at. I mean, WoD didn't have a lot that it was good at, but ironically the stuff it was good at was the stuff I also wanted out of the game. So I quite liked it.
Have a good one.
Right, I really should sort out professions here.
Light be with you. Light bless you.
Which means... I think the tailoring one is upstairs here. I'd have to try and remember.
Good day to you. Safe travels.
Right. Played WoW from launch, left when BFA came out. Oh. I didn't play WoW from launch.
You need something?
First aid, yeah. Even though I'm not
Safe
wasting my
travels.
bandages on it just yet, but I'll get it for when I have got bandages to spare, cloth to spare. Rogue trainer, no use to me. No use to me. That's for a quest. I thought the tailoring trainer. Oh, I need a mage trainer anyway. Conjure food. Not bothered about that. When do I get that? Rank 8.
See you later.
Right. Fireball rank 2 in there. Fire blast. Put that there for now. Yeah, ESO has certainly benefited. ESO is a really, really good game for a casual player, I would say. I am not convinced. There's probably Warlock down here, but I'm just going to see if there's anything else that's of any use to me. No. I'm not... I wouldn't like playing it seriously because it seems to make a virtue of... No, where's the tailor in China? Sorry, a virtue of... I can't think of words now. Animation cancelling. Which I do not.
What are you looking for?
Right, this is awkward now because... Oh, maybe I should keep that for when I'm in trouble. Keep that. May as well keep that for cooking.
Have a good one.
I'll wait till I go to Stormwind, I suppose. Right. What do they want me to do next? Oh shit, they want me to go to Stormwind, so that's handy. Okay, we'll go to Stormwind. Huzzah. More gnomes. Combat in Final Fantasy 14 doesn't sit with you. Yeah, I tried Final Fantasy 14 and sometimes, you know, there are games that just, the style just doesn't suit you. So that's what it is for me. You know, when people talk about it, it might well be, you know, if you just did it in a different style, I might well love the game. But I just don't, yeah, I don't feel immersed in it somehow. ESO I really like the style of, and I like the game. In fact, I was incredibly excited about, you know, ESO I was really excited because I used to play the weekend beta. So I wasn't in the full beta, but I was in the weekend ones, which meant you got limited access, but it was so good. I couldn't wait for it to come out, even though I was playing WoW at the time. But, you know, I had plenty of spare time at the time. This was before Legion. And it was so disappointing that it wasn't ready at launch. There were so many bugs that just stopped you, and there's so many things about it as well that have been massively improved. I've also been hugely impressed with the way in which the developers, instead of trying to do what Blizzard developers do, you know, when the players are saying, we don't like this, this is crap, Blizzard developers go, no, it's not. You poor loves, you don't understand, you're not very clever, are you? Let me explain how actually it's a really good feature. No, the ESO developers went, right, they don't like this, we're changing it. And they changed it, not just changing it for change's sake, they changed it to a system that people did like. So ESO is so easy just to play, and just, you can play for a little bit as well. You know, you could easily play that for a couple of hours a week and feel like you're getting somewhere in it. Brilliant. For a casual player. As I say, I'm not convinced. Well, I wouldn't like it playing it seriously.
What can I do for you?
Because animation cancelling is the devil. Am I supposed to deliver that in here? Because it's given the strongest possible indication that I am. Yes, I am.
You need something?
Oh, I've got to choose something. Oh, why not have a rocket?
See you later.
Why not? Right, now. Let's just go and have a wander, because I want tailoring from the Mage District, I think. Can't 100% remember where it is. I can remember where enchanting is, though I need that as well. Oh, well, in terms of when you give up on an MMO, I mean, ultimately it comes down to this. In an MMO, you're spending time and money on it. If there's a point at which... Because you've got to distinguish between being unhappy with the game and being disappointed that it's not as good...
Need help?
...as you think it could be. Because that's different. You know, I've had that level of disappointment with WoW for quite a long time. But it was still... good enough for me to keep playing it. Right, I've got some things to disenchant, I think. I did have. There's one. Oh, is that all I've got? Okay, well, it's better than nothing. Ruined copper rod, right. So I need a copper rod.
Business.
I want some stardust and a copper rod, which has completely cleaned me
Safe
out.
travels.
I'm completely cleaned out. So it just comes down to, you know, are you unhappy that it's not enough, or are you unhappy that it's not worth the time and money? And if it's not worth the time and money, that's the point at which you do stop playing it, and you do something else with that time. And for that, you know, so for me, in theory, I have time on a Sunday evening, a Tuesday evening, and a Thursday evening. That's all, but, you know, I do have that time. And I could spend all of it playing World of Warcraft if I wanted. It is not, for me, good enough for me to spend all of my spare time doing. I mean, I suppose Monday evening as well, technically. But it's good enough for me to spend a bit of time on. Expert Taylor. Oh, no. Where is Journeyman Taylor? No.
Greetings.
Yeah,
See you
nice one.
next
Where's
week.
the Journeyman Taylor? This is not helpful. Right, I need a guard. No, there's one.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, right. Profession trainer. Taylor. Duncan's Textiles.
For the Alliance.
Oh. Did I go past it? Duncan, I did go past it. Because this is something that was really bad about. This is the problem with, you know, with Classic WoW for me as well. There were things in the game that were bad. You know, having different levels of trainer for a profession was not good.
See you around.
So, I mean, I wouldn't even be touching this if they'd have just left the vanilla stuff alone. If Cataclysm hadn't have changed it all, if they'd just left it be, I'd have thought, you know, that's grand. But yeah, I seem to recall the journeymen and experts for the trainers will be relatively easy to find everywhere, like in all cities anyway. Where you'll have a problem is when you need, you know, above that. Artisan and master, isn't it? And it's not even like it's helpful in telling you where to go. Well, sometimes it's
Light bless you.
Right, let's have a look. So, got all the quests here. I probably should set my Hearthstone. You've heard rumours that Daybreak Games, the company that runs EverQuest, have been working on a new EverQuest game. Well, why not? But I never played EverQuest, so I'm not that bothered about it. What is
I am
this?
honoured.
No, not doing that. Right, I will set my Hearthstone here though, until such time
I buy and trade. Farewell.
as I get a portal to Stormwind. And then that's the benefit of being a mage. You can set your Hearthstone to somewhere where you're actually questing and then just teleport everywhere else. Oh, that brings back memories. Lionheart Helm. Look at that. There's an awesome helm. When these things to improve stuff were by whole percents, not a rating. That's why you could get, you know, there was some level 40 somethings or other boots, I think, that used to be really good even at level 60. Just because they had like a whole percent of extra crit or hit and something like that on it. Hi Jimmy. You don't care about Classic, you played it, then the helm drops. Well, I don't, but it just brings back memories. But what I was saying is, if Blizzard had never removed the 1 to 60 content with Cataclysm, then I wouldn't be doing this now, because you'd be able to get that still in the game. You'd be able to do the Dire Maul tribute runs. You know, you'd be able to do all of this stuff. You'd be able to tramp around here, not having a mount, just having to run everywhere and thinking you're not going to, you know, I'm here thinking, even at level 40, when in theory I can get myself a mount, I may not be able to afford it. Who knows? I probably should make sure I do save up, actually. In fact, if I was going to be sensible, what am I playing? A mage. Oh, my ass. If I was being sensible, I probably would have picked up herbalism and mining just to sell the stuff, and then dropped them at level cap and got the professions I actually wanted. But I didn't. I'll do it properly.
Hello. Safe travels.
The Kata revamp was the biggest reason you hate that expansion. Well, it is for me because I didn't play most of it, so there's not much to hate. Or, see, what Cataclysm was for me is I came back in time for Dragon Salt, which was a piss poor raid. Not the worst raid, I might argue, but it was poor. And
King's honor, friend. Go with honor, friend. Light be with you. For the Alliance.
All right, we're off this way then. Yeah, so all I know for Cataclysm is Dragon Soul, and they took away the 1 to 60 content, completely knackering it all. And it's worse than that. It's not just that they got rid of it. You reckon skinning? Skinning, you know, once you can start... Because the thing about, you know, mining is when you get to high level and herbing, you can be getting Black Lotus and arcane crystals for Arcanite. Whereas skinning, you're not really getting, you know, you can... I suppose you might get lucky skinning the beast or something, but... Are you the only one who liked Tol Barad dailies? Well, I mean, I never did them, so I don't know. By the time I came into Cataclysm, there was no point in doing them. I think I might have done Tol Barad like a couple of times and not having any idea what was going on. Oh no, I do remember them. I actually don't like dailies in general, but actually those dailies were not as bad as some other ones. They arguably weren't as annoying as the ones in MoP. I really rebelled against the dailies in MoP. But again, it wasn't so much what you had to do in them, although the MoP ones were truly excruciating, some of them. It was... Have I gone past the bloody mine? No, but I think it's over... Oh, shit.
That's still recharging.
Stop eating me. Yeah, I think in MoP the main problem with the dailies was just the sheer number you had to do, and you had to do them as a raider. And at the start of the expansion, it wasn't something that they slotted in as the expansion went on, oh, you know, top up your spare time with a bit of this. At the start of an expansion, you have a lot to do anyway. It's all new, it's all brilliant. I don't want to be told to spend time each day. Doing bloody dailies. There's the mine. Oh God, what the hell? Oh, right, yes. I said this earlier, didn't I? Right, run away. Actually, I've got a healing potion. Don't have to run away as much now.
I can't cast
Need to
that.
pay more attention to my surroundings. Mining and herbing, it's 2 harvesting mats that have to compete with each other. Over skinning and herbing. Yeah, but you can see them. Like what I would tend to do is track herbs and
My mana.
you know, you can see the mining nodes more easily. Shit, I'm not gonna die. Oh, don't resist it. Oh, sugar. Oh dear.
I'm out of range.
I live. Somehow. Why am I not drinking as well? It's not with me. Skinning, you have to spend a long time. Well, first of all, you'd be more inclined as well with skinning to kill more beasts than you technically need, because, you know, skinning. And there's the time spent doing it as well. And you've got to loot everything. Which I am at the moment, but I may not always want to loot everything.
I need to get closer.
Oh, crap, I forgot that's got much shorter range.
That's still recharging.
There's a mage. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do tailoring enchanting. Enchanting is really useful if you're going to be on your own, not in a guild or anything like that. Because it's not like you can just go in the auction house and buy a vellum. You have to, you know, go around the auction house and you have to supply mats, and you're risking giving people things to make for you and stuff like that. Enchanting is a really good one to have on at least one character in WoW in this form. But
I can't cast that yet.
oh, for goodness sake, I need a bigger stick. Why do I not play Paladin? Because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Classic. I am going to spend very little time on it indeed. It could take me the rest of this year to get to level 60. And in a situation where it's, you know, I've not got enough interest to play much of it, I might as well do it on a system that I'm going to level up more quickly on. I will level up more quickly with a mage than I would a Paladin. And also, it's just the freedom of movement that I'll get into groups more easily as a mage and stuff like that as well, because the portals you've got for the end of the run, if nothing else, and conjuring water and stuff like that.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Many advantages to being a mage if you're going to be on your own, not in a guild or anything like that. Although the alternative may have been getting herbing and alchemy. Oh, so I could make myself bloody healing potions. Oh, that was nice of them. Should have rolled a pet class. Oh, well, yeah, for solo play, yes. Like, I would have had an easier time on a hunter so far, but long term, I'm better off with a mage. Because all of these problems you have early on disappear later on. I did a mage in vanilla. Give them a little buff. I actually don't know why I attacked that kobold. I don't need to attack anything. I'm just supposed to scout out the place, aren't I? There we go. Oh, spiders. The ESO crafted system is quite good. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to cope with it above a certain level, because it goes up to a certain point, doesn't it, in terms of champion levels. But it is really good up to that point. And I tell you what, I really love the bonus system where you can put different bonuses on it according to your research done, and let's go around there. and go into a physical station out in the world as well. Different stations have different bonuses. The profession system in ESO is thought through in a way that it never really was in World of Warcraft. It's, you know, you always get the impression with World of Warcraft, because they change professions so radically every single one, every single expansion, they know that there's something not right with it, but they can't quite work out what. And to be honest, I think it's so, you know, the game's been out so long, I think you have to... More bloody gnomes. You either have to just bite the bullet and change the whole thing, or they're just going to have to keep it pretty much as it is and just cope with the fact that professions are not good in this game. I mean, they were, other than enchanting, they weren't really good in vanilla. There wasn't a lot of point to most... Well, alchemy, sorry, as well. The ones where you produce things that you need on a regular basis. I mean, things where you produce armour or weapons, even people just doing dungeons would exceed most of that. There was a few special pieces. I haven't filled my bags up yet. Mage and lock only 2 classes you've never played, never been a big fan of squishy ones. The mage is not that squishy.
Well met.
It is at the moment.
Light bless you. King's honor, friend. Go with honor.
But, you know, generally speaking, it's not that bad. Right. Kill stuff. I mean, mage, you know, is reasonably gear dependent. So early on, when you're not getting any sort of... Oh god, that's going to be a problem, isn't it, if I don't do dungeons? Oh. Yeah, this is another reason why I'm not going to do a lot of classic. I'll have to pug dungeons.
It's too far away.
Yeah, but there comes a point where mage becomes very, very easy. You say 30, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I do remember when I leveled 1 in Classic, it just leveled up so quickly. Incredibly quickly. And it leveled on its own as well. It wasn't carried around by Uncle Thete either. Which later alts were. Like, later when I started leveling alts in later expansions, I would often not really level them properly at all. I would have them on the other account and my paladin would just boost them through everything. But my mage just went through really quickly on his own. Do you know what? I have actually made a mistake with this mage though. I have to confess. I should have made it female. Got to cover all bases. I mean, Warlock not squishy at all. Well, you can get a Void Walker, yes, certainly. But, and indeed, you probably would go around with a Void Walker. But it doesn't stop you being clumped from behind. One of the big problems in this game is patrols. And if you're not, like I've already been clobbered by a few, I don't. It's an amazing. I'm not dead. And if you get yourself clobbered, then the Void Walker will have limited time to rescue you. And you can end up pulling too much as well.
Honor, friend.
Oh, I don't know, the Void Walker's alright. Because obviously, if it can't hold aggro, that's because you're doing too much, so you just stop.
Greetings.
Stop using Curse of Agony for a start.
Friend.
Just keep Corruption ticking on it or something like that. But the problem is it can only withstand so much punishment. If you end up getting it, you know, surrounded by things, or you just end up pulling stuff yourself and it's alright saying, well, the Void Walker will get it off me. Again, you're more likely to have the Void Walker kill then.
I'm out of range.
It was a weird thing with the Warlock though, because I did also do a Warlock in vanilla. Oh, this is a level 10 one.
I can't cast that yet.
So the first time I made a Warlock, it was actually one of my earlier outs, and it's when I wasn't, you know, knowing how to play the game properly. My Paladin was still my main. I had a Paladin at level 60. And my Warlock kept dying in early levels, and I couldn't work, you know, it just kept dying. And then I remember, you know, when I joined Raid Group,
I need to get closer.
have I just saved a gnome? I did not mean to do that. And obviously, among, you know, in a group of friends I had when I was doing that, was a Warlock. And just by observing them, I learned quite a lot. And then I remember making a Warlock later on in the expansion and having no trouble with it and not understanding why I ever had any trouble with it. Alright, let's not back into more patrols. Oh, shit.
I can't drink anymore yet.
Wow. Come on, come on. Don't resist this. There we go. These pumpkins are coming to the rescue. Should do Young Lover's quest chain before these. Oh yeah, I didn't get that. Where was I supposed to... I haven't been given that, that's why. But yeah, I remember that one now. You're right, I should. Well, don't want then. I don't remember my Void Walker being that bad, because as I say, the second time I played a Warlock, I had no trouble at all. I used to run around, you know, putting corruption on things, and you know, if you do it... Oh, I'm not messing about with it. How many Murlocs do I have to kill to get to the guards? Oh, bugger. Some of these heal. Like that?
Isn't ready.
Bloody hell. No! God damn it. Oh, pissing hell. Leave me alone. I want Blink. Where's Blink? Yeah, I have completely lost all memory of how to keep myself safe. It doesn't matter. I do remember that quickly appraise the situation, and if you can't handle it, run away. I am going to loot that Murloc though. I just may have to kill this Murloc first. Stop resisting.
That's still recharging.
Oh God, it's a cow. I saw something emerge over my right shoulder. Wish they would stop bloody healing me.
Spell isn't ready yet.
Alright. Auto attack shouldn't be able to pull off aggro if you pet it. It didn't when I did it. It shouldn't. As in, literally shouldn't. Because I used a Void Walker. Maybe it has something to do with your talents or something, I don't know. I can't remember. I can remember a lot of things about the Paladin, some things about other classes. Oh no. Actually, that's probably done me a lot of good. That probably means I've got extra clumping power with my stick. Yeah, my attack power has gone from, I suppose, 11 to 31 now. Oh. No. How hard can I hit it? No, not very hard. Oh, for Christ's sake.
I can't cast that yet.
Pay more attention.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Right, but you are right, I shouldn't be up here yet. I'm not going to be anywhere soon. By the time I get back to Gold Shout, it'll be nearly the end. I haven't done Princess either yet, have I? There was certainly something about Warlocks that was not self-evident, because like I say, the first one I made, I died all the time. And then after that, once I'd learned enough about different classes, which I learned by raiding, you know, with people who played those classes, all of a sudden, I don't know where the difficulty ever was, I found it much easier. And I leveled my Warlock quite easily. Actually, I am thinking for now I should probably set my Hearthstone to Goldshire.
What can I do for you? Be careful.
Right, what was that he's just given me? Oh, not doing that yet.
How are you? See you around.
See you later, Jimmy. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Sane, because without doing it myself, I can't show anything. I'd have to get it to level 10 to be able to show anything. And I really don't fancy doing a warlock, because who can be bothered with soul shards? But I do recall that when I first played it, I died all the time. So doing what you might naturally be inclined to do was getting me killed. Whereas when I played it after that, when I'd actually met a warlock player and talked to them, I found it very easy, and I did not pull aggro off my Voidwalker. Or at least if I did, I was able to get him to taunt very quickly, and he got it straight back. So it does have enough threat. There's something, and I don't know what it is, because I didn't play Warlock enough in vanilla to be able to remember what I did differently. Right. I thought there was a breadcrumb quest that sent you over here. Have I just missed it or something? Or do I actually have to just wander around here and find it? Okay, maybe I just had to wander in and find it.
Good day to you. See you later.
You might almost, I have to say, get me wanting to just play a warlock just to see. But thinking about, I don't know, maybe we'll see. Maybe I will. I'm looking at the situation and I'm thinking to myself, I've played this for 2 hours and I'm level 7, nearly 8 on a mage, which is not high enough level on a warlock to have got that far. So it would take a few hours. Yeah, but I think the point they're trying to saying is there will be some way of dealing with the situation. It's not, you know, the classes weren't well designed in vanilla. None of them were. Oh. But there will be a way of dealing with it, because I had the same situation in vanilla itself. But I can't remember what I was doing wrong and what I did right.
Hello.
To put it right.
See you around.
Hello. Have a good one.
Right, hold on. Let's have a look here. Oh. Yeah, I thought it was down the river. I didn't see him. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough. Oh, I didn't look hard enough.
What can I do for you? Have a good one.
You need something? Be careful.
Right. That might be perfect timing. I shall Hearthstone back there. Hand that in. I missed a trick not making it female though. Because part of the reason for doing mage, apart from the fact it's quite a quick one to level once you
need
get a few
something?
levels and you get a few abilities,
See you later.
is the fact, as I say, if I did ever accidentally get it to level cap, it's quite a good one for getting into groups because you can provide food and water, particularly once you've done the quest in Dire Maul.
I supply only the finest goods.
Get rid of that. Yeah, food and water and portals at the end of the dungeon run.
Safe travels.
You've also got polymorphs, you've got a sort of crowd control. And if you're female, then you can get some teenage boys who might think you're actually female and will be extra nice to you and give you all the loot. But yes, I missed that trick, I'm afraid. But anyway, I'm going to call it there. I'll be back on next week. So the plan potentially next week, we'll see if I do anything in the meantime, will be possibly DK. Oh, Chapman, thank you very much, Camaldus. Anyone done a horrific vision? Ah, now, okay, go on. I'll read it. Considering going with the Arret is prop better. Haven't seen talent builds for the instance. Some are saying blinding light for extra interrupt. I'm afraid I will be of no use to you at all. Do you, Grimaldus, ever use the Paladin Discord, Hammer of Wrath? Because they will be the very people to have some advice on that. Hang on a minute. How come I'm not in any of the other... What the... That being said, I've just got... Oh my god, what? Where's all the channels for it? But I'm afraid I personally wouldn't know. But I'm sure the answers are there for the people that are still playing it. I did see someone talking about doing those this week on their Paladin. And they seemed to be saying... What were they saying? They said they needed a thing. An ability or something that meant they had to do... the gnome place. But I could be mixing that with something else because unfortunately, as I say, I'm not fully into everything as yet. Because I haven't actually played on my Paladin or indeed on WoW Retail since that was put up this week. No problem. I'm just looking there. Something weird here. Because the thing is, I haven't been using the Discord chats for ages either. I've not really been into it. And I've been noticing like chats on, you know, I'm in the Templar chat and the Ret Paladin chat. And then all I see is important. I can't actually see the rest of the channels. I've got Hammer of... There's channels. There's Hammer of Wrath stream channel. Roles. Announcements. Do you have to add yourself into channels somehow? What's going on? Anyway. Somewhere in Hammer of Wrath, presumably, is still the... where all the people who play, you know, Paladin, Ret, Prot and Holy are in Hammer of Wrath still. They're still there because I see them talking. I just can't see the more public channels. I've got access to the not public ones. I wonder why that is. Think you need a role. Is that all it is? Ah, okay, right. Oh yes, I see. I've got you. Well done, that man. Right, so if I click EU, live spec role Ret. Oh yes, excellent, well done, they've all come back. Oh, there you go. That was confusing me a little. They've changed it. See, that's what happens when you don't keep up with things. But anyway, thanks very much for coming on. I'll be back on again next Sunday. As I say, the plan will be do that DK thing really quickly, unless I do it earlier in the week. And then, what did I say I was going to do? LFR. LFR. I'll have to first of all see, I might have to do something on my Paladin. I might not be high enough item level to do the new LFR. In which case, I may have to do something. We'll see how far off I am. I might actually have to look up what I need. But thanks for coming on, everyone. And until next time, I'll see you later.